Hello, America, and welcome to the Ryan Max Show. I am your host, Ryan McKenzie. This week's episode is episode 13. It is Thanksgiving week. I thought I'd take a little bit of a break from politics and give you some fun Thanksgiving facts that you can enjoy before the holiday. A side note, a couple housekeeping things. Since we last joined up, the House has gone to the Republicans, so that is a victory there. I'll get into next week and weeks going forward about their plan and what they plan on doing with the majority. Second is I have a sneak peek to tell you guys about. Next week's episode is going to be a special episode. It's going to be with a special guest. And it's going to be called What is a Woman? And so it's going to be a fun one. My first ever special guest invite to the show for the podcast. So tune in next week. That will be out as well, and I'm excited for that one to bring that to you guys. So a few things here. I'm thankful, honestly, that I can voice my opinion freely in this country, depending on what platform I'm on, obviously. I'm thankful to be living in a great country that has so many freedoms that have been given to us by our Creator, not the government. I'm thankful that despite all of our flaws, we live in one of the greatest nations on this planet. I'm thankful that I don't have to wake up and be worried about where my next meal is or where my next clean drinking water is coming from, like in other parts of the world. I'm grateful for my family, my friends, and I'm grateful that I have a job. So that those are all things that are not as easily come by to some people. So another positive note, I'm also thankful that I'm no longer paying $5.30 for gas. Instead, I'm paying $4.05. I know, it's come down a lot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for releasing our wartime strategic reserves so that we could have lower gas prices, even though they were $2.38 before you took office. So thank you, and thank you, Kamala, for all your hard work. And that's why I'm thankful for Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for Joe Biden. Anyway, so that's all the politics and stuff I have for today. So Thanksgiving, what are you guys thankful for? Let me know on Facebook, either in Messenger or comments. I'll share this article that I found. 19 interesting Thanksgiving facts that some of these I didn't even know. So it's interesting that some of these came across as surprising. And I thought I knew a little bit about Thanksgiving's history, but so it's 3 activities comprised of, spending time with family, watching football, and eating a gob load of food, like a lot. I ate a lot at our church Thanksgiving feast on Sunday, and I plan to eat a lot this week too. We have Thanksgiving feasts, multiple Thanksgiving feasts to go to this week. So when you're not keeping up with everybody's political views or personal life, there's things that, well, they seem out of the ordinary, right? Okay, well, here's 19 things that you didn't know about Thanksgiving, or you forgot. Number 1, historians have no record of turkey being eaten at the first Thanksgiving. The first Thanksgiving Day feast happened in 1621, with 3 whole days dedicated to the celebration. Turkey was primarily not the food of choice. They had duck, geese, and swans were the favorite birds to eat between the settlers and the Native Americans. I did not know that. Number 2, Benjamin Franklin wished that the turkey was the national bird. In a letter he wrote to his daughter, quote, "For my own part, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen to represent our country. For the truth, the turkey is in comparison a much more respectable bird," end quote. Although he didn't have his wish granted, his letter inspired a song performed in 1776, the Tony-winning musical about the drafting of the Declaration of Independence. Number 3, the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade had Central Park Zoo animals. It was originally called the Macy's Christmas Parade to kick off the holiday shopping season. Originally held in 1924, the first parade included monkeys, bears, camels, and elephants that were borrowed from the Central Park Zoo instead of the traditional character balloons we see today. Interesting. Number 4, Snoopy has made the most appearances in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 44 years after the first Thanksgiving Day Parade, Snoopy has made his debut as a balloon in 1968. Throughout the years, the famous Beagle has had a total of 7 balloons, making 39 appearances on and off through 2015, before eventually being replaced by Charlie Brown in 2016. He returned as an astronaut for the 2019 parade, bringing his balloon total to 8. Number 5, Sarah Josepha Hale was actually the mother of Thanksgiving. Famously known for Mary Had a Little Lamb, Hale was a 19th century writer and editor who was nicknamed the mother or godmother of Thanksgiving. The name seemed fitting after she wrote a letter to President Abraham Lincoln and the Secretary of State, William Seward, in 1863, calling for the declaration of Thanksgiving as a national holiday. Interesting. Number 6, the first professional Thanksgiving Day football game was played in 1920. Over almost 100 years ago, Thanksgiving Day fell on November 25th, and there were 6 football games played, according to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Non-league teams, like the Elyria Athletics, that went up against teams in the league counted in standings. Football fans whip these stats out. Well, there's a list of scores here. The Akron Pros and Canton Bulldogs, Decatur Staleys, which eventually became the Bears, and the Chicago Tigers, the Athletics, and the Columbus Panhandle, the Dayton Triangles, the Detroit Heralds, the Chicago Boosters, and the Hammond Pros. Those are some funny names. Number 7, Thanksgiving was once celebrated on the 3rd Thursday in November. I didn't know that. This was decades after President Lincoln officially declared Thanksgiving a national holiday. President Roosevelt wanted to mix things up by moving it up to the 3rd Thursday instead of the 4th. By doing so, 7 shopping days were added to the holiday season in 1939. But the change upset football coaches whose weekend Thanksgiving games were switched to regular game days during the week. Plus, calendars were printed with incorrect dates. Number 8. Jingle Bells. Did you know Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving Day song? Well, now you do. Before it became a famous Christmas song, it was in 1857 titled One Horse Open Sleigh, and its composer, James Pierpont, intended it to be a Thanksgiving Day song, but it became so popular around December 25th that in 1859 the title was changed to Jingle Bells. Number 9, Butterball has had a Turkey Talk line open for nearly 40 years. I did not know this at all. Apparently, if you find yourself with a million questions about how to cook your turkey, and Google is too overwhelming, you can call the Butterball Turkey Talk line. It's a real thing, and they can help you. Open to U.S. and Canadian homes every November and December, the unique hotline, which first opened in 1981, is also available to take questions through online chat and email. There are also Spanish-speaking experts, just in case for those of you who don't speak English. Each year, Butterball experts answer more than 100,000 questions for thousands of households. Wow. I usually just eat the turkey. I don't ever join in the process of cooking it. I'm really good at eating it. Number 10. Each year, about 46 million turkeys are cooked. Thanksgiving Day and turkey go hand in hand, so this number shouldn't be too much of a surprise. 46 million. Although many of us celebrate the holiday, there are still, although not all of us celebrate the holiday, there are still millions of families gathering around a table to eat one of the most special meals of the year. And those who aren't satisfied with only a day of it, Christmas also becomes a popular occasion to cook another turkey. So there you go. Christmas and Thanksgiving, you can have more turkey. Number 11, the famous enzyme in turkey, tryptophan, doesn't actually make you tired. I thought this was always the case. Growing up, I thought that this definitely was a thing, and apparently it isn't. Who knew? Thanksgiving Day. If you expect to be tired after eating turkey, thanks to claims made by the amino acid tryptophan, it's not true at all. The reason is because you ate too much and you've gotten fat. So that is why you can't move and you are fatigued. So nice try for those of you who try to blame the enzyme. It's just because you ate 3 platefuls and had 4 pieces of pie. Number 12, the majority of Americans secretly dislike classic Thanksgiving dishes, but will eat them anyway. And this one blew me away. A whopping 68% of Americans dislike Thanksgiving dishes like canned cranberry sauce, gross, pumpkin pie, even turkey itself, according to a 2019 Instacart survey of more than 2,000 U.S. adults. They'll still eat them and honor the tradition. But times are changing. 30% of the dinner hosts have served something other than turkey as their main course. Pork is the second most popular option. Ham and chicken, I believe, or duck, or the famous turducken. I've yet to try that. I'm hear that it's really, really good. Number 13. Many people enjoy Thanksgiving leftovers more than the meal itself. The atmosphere on Thanksgiving Day is unlike any other. The kitchen bustling with last-minute cooking. The dining table set with the best plates, china. The football game on the TV. But according to a 2015 Harris poll, people actually enjoy leftovers more than the actual meal. This is a true thing. In my house, my dad was always praising the leftover turkey the next day and everything. He went as far as just eating it right out of the fridge. So that is definitely a thing. Leftovers seem to taste better than the actual meal. Not sure why that is. 14. TV dinners are a Thanksgiving leftover invention. So, kind of. In 1953, an overzealous Swanson employee overestimated the number of frozen turkeys the company should order for Thanksgiving, and the company was left with 260 tons of excess turkey after the holiday. Rather than eat the loss, literally, financially, salesmen came up with a brilliant idea to promote pre-made turkey dinners served as reheatable individual trays, just like airline meals. By the end of 1954, Swanson had sold 10 million frozen turkeys, and the TV dinner industry was born. So TV dinners were born out of having way too many turkeys. 15, this has become a tradition among presidents as well, and I'll tell you about Joe Biden's pardons here in a minute. President George H.W. Bush was the first to pardon a turkey. back in 1989, the 41st president pardoned the first turkey, that is, assured that he would never become somebody's dinner. After noticing the 50-pound bird looked a little antsy on his official Thanksgiving proclamation, since then, every president has upheld the tradition, and a few of the turkeys have gone on to serve a different purpose. In 2005 and 2009, the birds went to Disneyland and Disney World parks to anticipate in the annual Thanksgiving Day parades. That's pretty cool. By the way, Joe Biden's turkeys today that he pardoned were named Chocolate and Chip. So there's no surprise there. Obviously, after his famous ice cream flavor, chocolate chip. He can't seem to get ice cream off his mind even when staring at two wild turkeys. Number 16, President Calvin Coolidge was the first to pardon a raccoon in relation to Thanksgiving. This one's a little weird. Yeah, you read that right. November 1926, Coolidge was gifted a live raccoon intended to be his Thanksgiving dinner. But apparently he wasn't into the idea of eating a raccoon, so he decided to keep it as a pet instead. This is not unusual, as the President and First Lady Coolidge were known to be animal lovers. They were randomly often sent pets, including ones the unconventional side, like a bear and lion cubs. Number 17. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving is known as Drinksgiving. Oh, this is obviously probably one of the best days of the year if those of you who drink a lot. Drinksgiving. The holiday season is a time of celebration, which means toasts upon toasts are made. Before the annual feast event even occurs, that's the night before Thanksgiving, which has become known as the booziest days of the year. It's even dubbed Black Wednesday in some places. Bars aren't the only businesses that experience a boom on Thanksgiving Eve. Uber has even offered free rides on the night over the past few years. Wow, that is interesting. Number 18, Black Friday, a.k.a. the day after Thanksgiving, is the busiest day for plumbers. Sure, it's a busy day for shoppers, and my wife always loves Black Friday. I got into it a few years ago, but there's just not that many sales that make a difference because they mark up so many things. But this one is a huge deal for plumbers. So any of you plumbers out there, do you experience a surge in services after Thanksgiving? Plumbing and drainage companies don't really get the Friday after Thanksgiving off since it's one of their busiest days of the year. Well, in fact, the day is so busy for those services that Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Water Company calls it Brown Friday. Gross. So all you people who congest 14 plates and 15 pieces of pie, that is why you are seeing Brown Friday from plumbers, because they are unclogging your crap, literally. Last but not least of the list here, number 19. The turkey bird is actually linked to the country of, you guessed it, Turkey. If you've ever wondered which came first, the bird or the country, we have a definitive answer. The turkey bird got its name from the country due to a case of mistaken identity. During the Ottoman Empire, guinea fowl were exported from East Africa via Turkey to Europe. And the Europeans started calling the birds turkey cocks or turkey hens due to the trade route. So when Europeans first sailed to North America and discovered that birds looked so similar to guinea fowl, they called them turkeys. And there you have it. 19 fun facts about Thanksgiving. So, I thought we'd take a little bit of a break from the usual chaos of the politics and the everyday hot mess that this administration is. Thanksgiving, again, is a time for reflection. It's a time for family, to spend time with those who you maybe don't get to see. It's a time to give thanks for our veterans, for our troops who are currently overseas serving. Give thanks to ultimately God for giving us these days to celebrate on. Without Him, none of this would be possible. So make sure that you give thanks to Him who created this possibility. But honestly, I'm just thankful that Joe Biden doesn't know where he is. Because if he did, he'd probably be doing a little bit better. So at least we have that going for us. Well, if you know what you're thankful for, you can always hit me up on Facebook. Write it on my wall. I think I can share it. I'll fix out the settings. But I want to hear your guys' requests and what you're thankful for. And we should all be thankful that we live in one of the greatest nations on earth. So there's a lot more to be grateful for and thankful for, but it's Thanksgiving. Go eat some food, watch some football, and forget about politics for the week. As always, you can catch my podcast wherever you get your podcast. I'm on Facebook at The Ryan Max Show. I will see you next week.